you don't get it twice. The time of your life.
A very good evening, welcome to Premier League Live this Monday night as we conclude match day 35 of the Premier League, and it is Everton taking on Manchester City. Two teams with a lot still to play for in the Premier League this season, but what is at stake for these two clubs? Everton's recent results have seen their chase for European football take a hit. A win tonight could reignite their fight for continental exploits, a chance to overtake Chelsea into 9th and find themselves just 2 points off 6th place Bournemouth. For Manchester City, there is no margin for error when it comes to the title. This is their 34th league game of the season, and with Arsenal winning both of their last 2 league games, it means City have to match that to return to a level footing at the top. So who will come out on top tonight under the lights on Bank Holiday Monday at the Hill Dickinson Stadium on the banks of the River Mersey? It's David Moyes Everton hosting title-chasing Manchester City. A perfect game to end match day 35 in the Premier League. An Everton side who certainly haven't reached the heights that they are capable of in the recent games, with back-to-back league defeats in added time. For Manchester City, though, on the second longest unbeaten run of the season, 11 matches without defeat. So who will falter tonight? Well, history reads that Manchester City have an incredible record against Everton. Everton haven't won against Manchester City since January 2017. That's 18 league games in a row. They lost 5 of the last 6 meetings against City, only drawing 1 at the Etihad back in December 2024. But they've lost each of the last 8 home league games against the current battlers for the league. 4 goals they've scored in those 8 games, Everton, and they've conceded 20 in those 8 games. But Pep Guardiola has a fantastic record against Everton too. He's only lost once against the Toffees in his career at Manchester City. That was a 4-0 defeat back in January 2017. And, well, he's won 14 of the 18 meetings between the sides against David Moyes, shall I say, actually. Against David Moyes, Pep Guardiola, drawn 3 and lost just once against the Scotsman. In terms of recent form, as I said, Everton have lost their last 2 league games via added time goals. A late Virgil van Dijk winner in the Merseyside derby and a Callum Wilson goal that secured a victory for West Ham a few weeks ago. Certainly a difficult way to lose a game late. Well, Manchester City, on the contrast, are unbeaten in 11 league games, dating back to the 17th of January. That was a 2-0 defeat in the Manchester derby against Manchester United at Old Trafford. But Everton have lost more than they've won at the Hill Dickinson Stadium this season. They've won 6 times and lost 7. For Manchester City, they've the second best away record in the league. Won 9 times on the road this season, picked up 31 points and an a goal difference, of plus 11. Only Arsenal have picked up more points on the road with 32. Man City can go above them on that record if they win tonight. So it is all on the line at the top of the table and in the middle of the pack this evening. Let's have a quick look at the table before you bring you the team news. So Manchester City's job is quite clear tonight. Win and you cut the gap to 3 points, and with a game in hand means you're still very much in the push for the title. But any drop points now is advantage Arsenal after Arsenal won their last 2 league games. 2 league games City still have to play, so it is certainly no margin for error for Pep Guardiola's side. For Everton, well, their last 2 games, their back-to-back defeats have dropped them down to 11th in the table. But a win tonight, a rare win it would be against City, would push them back up to 9th in the table, behind Brighton on goal difference, and just 2 points off 6th place Bournemouth. So very much still in the mix for Europe, David Moyes' side, if they win this evening. Let's have a look at the two teams for this one, starting with the home side in Everton. Jordan Pickford, ever reliable in the Everton goal. He starts in between the sticks. O'Brien, Tarkowski, Keane and Mykolenko are the back four. Tim Irabunum is alongside James Garner in midfield. Roll is in the 10. Dewsbury Hall and Njai are the wingers, with Beto leading the Everton line. On the bench for the Toffees, Travers, Patterson, Coleman, McNeil, Dibbling, Armstrong, Alcaraz, George and Tierno Barry. Well, for Manchester City, a side in form, in groove, in confidence, everything you could really ask for. But they have a 6-point gap to try and make up at the top of the table. Gianluigi Donnarumma starts in goal, a back four of Matej Nunes, Abu Kadir Kushanov, if I can get that out, alongside Mark Guehi at centre-back, O'Reilly at left-back, Gonzalez and Bernardo Silva are in midfield with no Rodri, he's still out injured. Cherki in the 10, Semenyo and Doku wide, and Erling Haaland, the league's top goal scorer with 24 goals, leads the City line. On the bench, Trafford, Aït-Nouri, Stones, Ake, Reinders, Kovacic, Savinho, Foden and Marmoush. So, it's Everton against Manchester City at the Hill Dickinson Stadium on Bank Holiday Monday. But who will bank the points tonight and who will falter on this one? Find out next. Everton against Manchester City. Kick-off is on the way next. A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us for this one this evening. It's great to have your company here on this Monday night as we conclude another fantastic weekend of Premier League action, where there's been lots of twists and turns in the title race, in the race for Europe, and of course in the relegation battle as well. It's all still up for grabs as we go into the final 3 weeks of the season, and it is anybody's guess as to who will finish where come the end of the campaign. The title race wide open, the relegation battle wide open, and the race for Europe couldn't be wider if it tried. Manchester City come here tonight, as I said, with Arsenal's back-to-back league victories, with clean sheets against Newcastle, and of course at the weekend against Fulham, meaning City have really no room for error, no room for mistakes. But they've been here before, they've done it before, they know the job. Win to the finish line and you have a chance, but any slip-ups and Arsenal will surely be there to take advantage. For Everton, they need to get themselves a bit of form. Been out of form as of recently. If they want Europe to come to the Hill Dickinson, then they certainly have to buck up their ideas and get some points on the board in the dying few weeks of the season. As we get underway, Everton get us going, and we are off and running in our final game of match day 35 in the Premier League. And as I said, a lot on the line tonight in what can happen, but what will happen is the most important and pertinent factor. Manchester City know the task at hand. It's about getting the job done. They've done it so many times before, but a lot of these players haven't been in this situation before to get a title over the line. So for a lot of them, it's a first time experience. But for that man in the dugout, it certainly isn't. Here is Bernardo Silva. And the City in their third strip tonight of that grey with luminous green trimmings, which is, I said earlier in the season, one of the most ugly kits I've ever seen. I stand by that message, because why would you put luminous green on a light colour? Anyway, moving on. Here is Nico O'Reilly. Of course, really sprung into action over the last few weeks for Manchester City. Guehi plays it down the left to Jeremy Doku. There's been a bright spark on that left-hand side for this City team. Certainly improved his individual performances. Here's Semenyo finding Nico Gonzalez. Well, we do expect City to dominate the ball and really control this match, but Everton can be a thorn in the side. They're not an easy team to play against by any stretch of the imagination. David Moyes always makes them difficult to break down. A really physical side, this Everton team. But they've been had a little bit of a soft underbelly late in games in recent times. Oh, that's a cheap giveaway by Matej Nunes. Here's Iliman Njai. He's trying to work himself down the left channel, but the Portuguese Mateus Nunes works it out well and finds it back to Donnarumma. Speaking of Donnarumma, Everton scored tonight. We have our Golden Glove winner confirmed. Arsenal's David Raya, who has 17 clean sheets, will be guaranteed the Golden Glove if Everton score and City fail to keep that clean sheet. Donnarumma with 13 would only be able to level himself at least with David Raya if he was to fail to have a clean sheet this evening. Bernardo Silva. Right to Nico O'Reilly. To Doku. We're all chasing him down, hunting him down. Doku slightly pulled back there by the Everton midfielder Merlin Roll. And that's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Down this left-hand side. And thought he was discreet enough there, Merlin Roll, but the referee spotted it. And a quick decision to give the City free kick. Our referee, by the way, tonight, Michael Oliver. VAR is Paul Howard. It's Bernardo Silva plays it short to Cherki. He's got options in the box, Ryan Cherki. Tries to go backwards to Kushanov. Now Nunes. Down the line to Semenyo. Got O'Brien for company. Mikolenko there too. Nicely done by Semenyo. Cherki pokes it in behind Nunes with the run. Trying the cut back and Mikolenko there to block it. And now try and send Everton away on the break. Here's Dewsbury Hall. Heavy touch let him down. And ultimately fouling Ryan Cherki. And that's going to be a City free kick. Dewsbury Hall claims his innocence, but it looked like he kind of just run into Ryan Cherki rather than made any sort of rash contact. See it again. Yeah. Can see why the referees give it there. The left arm of Kieran Dewsbury Hall into the back of Cherki. And there's one man who had a very good view of that challenge, David Moyes. Guehi. No way for City to play through there as it's cut out by Roll. No room for Beto to try and progress the ball as City quickly win it back. It will be a fascinating battle between these two tonight. Oh, another slip there. It's twice City have slipped in this first half. Dewsbury Hall finds Garner. He's got Beto on the run. Garner clogged up here by a couple of City players and forced wide. Right to the byline. He tries to poke it back into the area. Comfortably retrieved by Manchester City. But that's twice in their own half that City players have lost their footing. And Everton have stolen the ball away. Need to be very careful. Cherki couldn't find the through ball, but he's inadvertently going to find the return ball, but not going to keep it that time. Garner showing a bit of fight all of a sudden, Everton. Not on that occasion. Ira Bunham displaced by his opposite number. Here is Semenyo. Bernardo Silva switches it out to the left, finds Jeremy Doku. Doku finds O'Reilly on the run and blocked behind by Tarkowski for the corner. And the first corner of the game. City have had over 80, almost 90% possession in the first 6 minutes. And they get their first corner of the game. Ryan Cherki's going to be the one to come over and take this for City. Going short. Doku. On his own here out in the left as he now finds Bernardo Silva. Squares it across to Mateus Nunes. Swung back out to Cherki on the left. Lifts it into the area. Header by Guehi is well off target. And left for Doku to chase, but Tarkowski gets rid quickly. Well, you have to say there, Everton were far from convincing in that moment. Oh, the Guehi header left a lot to be desired in an offensive sense. Here's Semenyo. Nice ball finding Bernardo Silva. Cuts back for Cherky, whose shot goes high and wide. Decent effort from Ryan Cherky though, but just couldn't get it on target. Yeah, nice work from Semenyo. Plays a lovely ball across the edge of the area here to find Bernardo Silva. Just given the time and space to pick out that pass, and Silva just rolls it back for Ryan Cherky. He just doesn't get his angles right. Strikes off target. And the first registered shot of the game. Look at that for a stat. I mean, that's an incredible stat. Unbeaten in his last 17 Premier League meetings against Everton. I mean, that is sensational of a record. I mean, 9.5 years, almost a decade since Everton last beat Manchester City. It's absolutely unbelievable. Merlin Roll gets beaten past by Doku, who's got O'Brien for company, but O'Brien slips and then collides with Doku. Referee said no foul, it was just a collision rather than anything of a foul. Well, to me that did look like a foul, albeit he slipped, but I mean, he did impede Jeremy Doku from running through. Surely that is a foul, but the referee didn't think so. Here's O'Reilly, drives up the middle, skips away from a challenge and tries to find the ball out wide, but he's going to pull it back for the foul on O'Reilly here. The referee said O'Reilly was fouled. It's going to be a City free kick. Well, the reverse fixture was a pretty comfortable, routine Manchester City victory back in the Etihad in the end of October. Erling Haaland with 2 second-half goals put Everton to the sword. The Everton side who had just one shot on target against Manchester City in that reverse fixture. Doku. Guehi. Gonzalez, of course, comes into the side playing the Rodri role. Rodri still injured. Had a really stop-start season, Rodri. Injuries have really hampered him all season, and Gonzalez has been there to deputise. O'Reilly. Doku fending off the challenge, finding Guehi in the half space. Back to Gonzalez, who finds it out wide to Doku again. Really nice City play. Doku onto his right, back onto his left, gets past Roll, and the cross was deflected. Roll stayed with him. Corner to Manchester City. Yeah, they've been really on top in the first 10 minutes, City. Really on top. Corner taken short again. Cherky finds Kushan over the edge of the box. He finds Semenyo. Works it onto his right and was slightly clipped there, but he wins it back quickly. Semenyo. Bernardo Silva. Cuts it back with Cherky. No time to shoot for City from the edge there. They work it wide again. Gonzalez. Semenyo. Cherky. Again, no room for City to break through the middle. Have to come wide to get any space whatsoever. Such a compact Everton team out of possession. Everybody back doing their defensive duties, as you would expect from a David Moyes side. Mykolenko hasn't been able to go back to left back, so he's covering Doku and O'Reilly here. Seen away on that occasion. Well, it's one-way traffic, you have to say, but so far Everton are causing a bit of a traffic jam in their own defensive third. Semenyo, lovely little bits of skill. Cross was there, but blocked, and will find its way back to Mateus Nunes, who runs into Kieran Dewsbury Hall. That will be another Man City corner. Yeah, they're playing it much quicker now, City. Trying to find any little gaps that emerge from Everton. Very few gaps there is, but they're working in and around it so far, City. Bernardo Silva with this corner, right-hand side. Left-footed delivery by Silva. Headed away at the near post. Anywhere will do there for Mykolenko. Corner again it will be. Jordan Pickford taking on some liquids there. Hasn't been called into action so far, but might be soon if this pressure continues. Bernardo Silva over this one again. What can he do with this delivery? Better one needed, really. Footed, very narrow, cleared away again at the front post. Bodies queuing up from both teams there to get their head to it. It was Everton that cleared it. Here's Cherky charging towards the area. Just lost his footing there as he entered the box, but Haaland tracking back, winning it back. Fabulous from Erling Haaland. Work rate of City so far. Here comes Doku down the left again. Inside to Gerhi. Squares it across, finds Nunes. Will he shoot? No, he plays it through to Haaland. Holds off his man. Haaland trying to eke a little bit of space, but run into blue shirts. And Everton will get a bit of respite as Haaland deemed to have committed a foul on James Garner. Free kick to Everton. Yeah, you see it here. Haaland just defends off Mykolenko. Beto doesn't want to go in for a challenge, then Garner just stands in the way of Haaland as he tries to turn into a shooting position. Ultimately runs into Garner and commits the foul. And that's an Everton free kick, which will just rest the defence a little bit and give them a bit of possession. Much needed possession, really. As I said, just 11% of the ball so far in the first 13 minutes. Pickford going to launch long up the field. Quickly, possession was given right back to Manchester City, and Zira Bunham puts it out for the throw-in. Really struggling to get on the ball at the minute, Everton. A bit of frustration from David Moyes, but this is a Manchester City team who just look locked in tonight. They look like a side who've got a target, and they are not looking to waver from it. That was a bit loose there from Bernardo Silva towards Matheus Nunes. That will get Everton a throw. Well, Everton have lost their last 8 home league games against City, their longest run of consecutive defeats against an opponent in their history. Mykolenko takes this through. Can they end that record tonight? And do Arsenal a massive favour at the top. And do themselves a favour as well. You know, we've talked a lot about the title race in this game, but Everton need it too. You know, we look at this game and we look at Everton's recent results, and they have kind of just fallen off. They were a really good team mid-season, Everton. Struggled at the start, have struggled recently, but they were really strong in the mid-season. Always a team you could really rely on to get a good result, or certainly show up and prove themselves, and they did a massive job against Chelsea here a few weeks ago. I remember watching that game and thinking, this Everton team can really push on for Europe. And I mean, beating Chelsea isn't a measure of how good you are, it's a measure of how bad Chelsea are. O'Reilly looking for Haaland. Haaland made the run towards the 6-yard box, and O'Reilly cut it back to the area. Not quite linking it up there, but City finding gaps and space. Doku gets a little bit fortunate there. That ball comes to O'Reilly. Here's Cherky. Doku. He's it out to Gerhi. He's gone very wide there. O'Reilly to Gerhi. You kind of feel if Man City get the early goal, get a goal here soon, could be curtains for Everton right from the off of how strong City have looked right from the beginning. They're hanging in there at the moment, are the hosts. They've been basically passengers in the first quarter of an hour here, have Everton. All City possession in Everton's half. I don't think Donnarumma's even standing up. I think he's had a seat in his own box. That's a lovely ball by Doku. O'Reilly's cut back, and Haaland with a first glimmer of hope around the 6-yard area. It just finds its way through to Jordan Pickford, but again O'Reilly starting to emerge. Doku and O'Reilly linking up well down the left here. Beautiful ball by Doku. O'Reilly feints into behind, and then O'Reilly's cut back to Haaland. Was just about dealt with by Everton. It had come from absolutely nothing. That's how good Manchester City are. If you're just watching the ball and not watching runners, they can destroy you. That's why you have to be 100% switched on. Even then, it's still a difficult task to keep them at bay. O'Reilly, Doku. Taking his time, Doku. Trying to measure his ideas. O'Reilly here to Gerhi. Nunes. Gerhi out to the left-hand side. Doku now with a bit of space, rolling his way. Onto his right, then back onto his left. You can see that all day long. Cuts it across. O'Reilly trying to arc a bit of space. And closed out by Michael Keane, I think, who came across there. But Doku here rolls its way past Roll. Onto his left-hand side. Swung it in with his left boot. Onto the boot of O'Reilly, who got in behind O'Brien. And was closed off by the crossing Michael Keane. Corner taken short. Worked its way to Semenyo here. 5 City players in the mix there. Finding Cherky, the man in space, and Pickford with the save. City knocking at the door. Semenyo beating past his man. Cuts it across. Right the way through and out the other end. Couldn't have been more dangerous if he tried. A perfect ball by Antoine Semenyo. And there were City players in there, but none of them could get the key touch to it to poke it home. Cherky started it, he got the move going. He had a shot saved by Pickford. They keep it alive, City. And Semenyo slaloming through here beautifully. As he gets to the byline, cuts it across the 6-yard area, is known as the corridor danger. And my goodness, what a dangerous ball. O'Reilly was there, Doku was there, Haaland was lurking. But none of them could get contact to the ball. None of them could make that key touch. Here's Doku. Up against O'Brien. Roll is there too again. Back it goes to Gerhi. Gonzalez. City really all over Everton here. And they're desperate for that opening goal. Semenyo being set behind Mikalenko. Nunes blocked and then rebounds into the hands of Pickford. Those runners in behind Everton are causing them all sorts of problems. They're being dragged to the ball, and then the runners go in the opposite direction. Are timing it so well that they just get to the ball at the nick of time. Really, really well worked by City on a couple of occasions. The one question is, they haven't tested Jordan Pickford enough in those situations. Ryan Cherky with the only shot on target so far. But I have to say, City massively in control. And Everton, who've been, they've been out of possession for the majority of this game. They haven't got many touches on the ball. They've played 27 passes in 20 minutes. Everton, compare that to City's 181 passes in 20 minutes. Only 18 of those 27 have been accurate. That's 66% pass accuracy. So Everton, when they have had the ball, have been wasteful, but it's been on the rarest of rare occasions so far. Doku, Cherky, Gonzalez. And talk about utter domination. The scoreline remains level. Cherky. Nunes got a little bit lost there with the ball, but he has the time and space to work it out. Finds Gerhi. Now down the left is Doku. Doku charging towards O'Brien onto his right foot. Dribbles back onto his left. Gets to the byline. Clips it across over the head of Haaland. And Semenyo couldn't keep the shot down. He shouts in frustration, but again, Jeremy Doku tearing this right side of the Everton defence apart. Really good, wonderful 1v1 skill. And then the chip ball back across the box is just over the head of Haaland. It drops for Semenyo, who's free in the area. And he just takes it on the volley, leaning back. Couldn't keep the shot down, but City are all over Everton here. And Jeremy Doku has made one hell of a nuisance of himself in the first 20 minutes or so. He has torn that side, right side of Everton's defence apart. That's a lovely ball. And Jai, rare Everton possession here. Dewsbury Hall. They've had that little of the ball, they don't even know what to do with it now, Everton. They don't know what a football is. It's been that long since they touched it. Tarkowski finds O'Brien. He's well closed out there by Nico O'Reilly. Tarkowski. Launched forward by Pickford. Header one. First time, and the second ball picked up in the middle by Irabuna, but Dewsbury Hall was dispossessed, and I City might find space, but the ball towards Hallam is just a little bit wayward. Pickford can retrieve, but that's where City can be dangerous. If Everton get a little bit more exploratory in the midfield, you nick the ball back and you're in. Pickford again with another launch. Better was the target. He got a nick to it, but it's taken down by Gerhi. Now Kushanov. Gerhi. And it eked a little bit of space with a bit of skill, and in the end, not on the same page as Nico O'Reilly there, and that one straight out for an Everton throw. Well, maybe. Everton have had a little bit of positivity in the last minute or so. Mikolenko couldn't get past Semenyo there, but it will be another Everton throw in. Tarkowski switch to O'Brien. No room to manoeuvre there, has to come back to Keane. He will thump it forward. Looking towards Beto, who uses long legs to take the ball, but it's going to be a foul against Beto. And that's going to be a City free kick, which they take quickly. Doku finding the run of O'Reilly, just overhit that goal kick. I have to say, Doku is causing some real issues to Everton so far. And they've massively struggled to stop him at any stage. And when you give Jeremy Doku a jump from the off, beware, because once he comes alive, I mean, it's trying to put out one of those candles. You ever see one of those candles, and many times you blow it out, it doesn't stop burning? That's what Jeremy Doku is. You give him a chance, you light him up, he ain't going away. Oh, that's a cheap giveaway by Gonzalez and Jai. Dewsbury Hall, a real glimpse for Everton. Dewsbury Hall, his shot deflected by Kushanov. It's an Everton corner. Well, look at this. The first time we've heard the Everton crowd. The first Everton corner. First real attack of the game for Everton. Kushanov with the sliding challenge to block that Dewsbury Hall shot behind for the corner. Kind of feel the momentum has slightly swung in Everton's favour. They've got a bit of the ball. They've got up the field. They've won a couple of tackles. Started to emerge into the game all of a sudden, the home side. After City's utter domination for 22 and a half minutes, it's Everton that have come alive all of a sudden. Corner, left-hand side. Garner's delivery, right-footed. Headed across by Keane and cleared away by City, but it will find an Everton throw on the far right side. It was Michael Keane who was the one to get on the end of this. Say it again, good delivery by Garner. And Keane just kind of gets his head to it. It wasn't really directed towards goal, but got some contact. Panicked Manchester City a little bit. Now Jake O'Brien has a free throw in, on the right hand side. I suspect he will go long here. He does. Long launch. Ended away by O'Reilly. Back in it goes from Irabunum. And cleared away again by City, but Garner in there to battle. And the bouncing ball will drop for a City throw on the right hand side. Well, Everton have lost their last 2 league games. They haven't lost 3 league games in a row since January of last season. So if they were to lose tonight, it would be their worst run of this campaign. It shows how kind of industrious they've been this season. They've won 13, lost 13 and drawn 8 of their 34 league games to this stage, so they're right bang mid-table. They're draw tonight would see them on 48 points, level with Chelsea and Fulham. And 4 behind 6th place Bournemouth. So still not out of the conversation, but a difficult spot to get back into. Bournemouth's record, I mean, 15 games unbeaten is sensational from Bournemouth. For Man City, of course, they're on an 11-game unbeaten run. Here's Doku. He's had Merlin Roll all to himself in this first 27 minutes. He's been all over him. He's had no chance, Roll, to stop Doku. Here's a shot from range that's not worth really raising your voice for, from Abdulkadir Kushanov. Thought he was having his Vincent Kompany moment there, Kushanov. Definitely not. Now there's a man who is on loan from Manchester City at Everton. Of course, he wouldn't have been able to play here tonight, obviously, but he's injured, so that's probably the more pertinent reason why he's not involved. A broken foot. That's why Jack Grealish hasn't played recently for Everton. He certainly started like a house on fire at the early point of the season for the Toffees. Jai. It's close, but not enough to win the ball, and Haaland receives it in the midfield here. O'Reilly. Haaland having to come deeper to get some of the ball. Seen him do that a couple of times already tonight. Added himself to the link-up play. Nunes. Kushanov. 29 minutes gone. Everton 0, Man City 0 here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. This Monday night, Everton win would send them up to 9th. Just 2 points off 6th place, but a City win would see them within 3 of the league leaders, Arsenal. With a game in hand as well, City, which they will play in a week or so. You know, well, there's an issue here for Abdulkadir Kushanov. Say it again. I don't actually know what's happened. I think it's between him and Beto. Does Beto kind of clip his heel there? And it's really hurt Kushanov. Yeah, he just kind of catches the Achilles of Kushanov there, Beto. He's just going for the ball. There's no malice, no intent behind it, but all is okay. Kushanov is fine. More of a painful one than a long-standing issue. There's just some adjustments to Jordan Pickford's gloves. What's happening there? He's already made 1 save already, Jordan Pickford. Just the 1 shot on target in the whole game. Here's Iliman Ndiaye. Real danger for Everton. He's got space down the left. Just about eked it out to Dewsbury Hall. Back to Ndiaye, who couldn't find the return again. But Everton have been a little bit more in the game in the last 5-10 minutes. After what was... They were exclusive passengers. I mean, they were in first class in their own final third in the first 20 minutes. Sit back, relax, enjoy the scenery. Bernardo Silva. Kushanov gives it back to Donnarumma. Lays it out to Guehi. Back across here to Bernardo Silva. Very open and expansive here, Manchester City in possession. Nunes looks for a ball over the top, but not a single City player made a run. That's the easiest of a retrieval of possession that Everton will have all night. Vera Bunham. That's a lovely ball by O'Brien, and it's a beautifully timed run by Roll down the right-hand side. Merlin Roll across, Beto! Oh, Beto again! Blocked behind for the corner by Kushanov. Well, Donnarumma was incredibly lucky that Beto wasn't a half-yard slower, because that would have been his tap-in. I mean, Merlin Roll absolutely leaves Mark Guehi for dead here. Plays a beautiful ball across, and Donnarumma tries to make the save. It somehow falls through his hand, underneath his hand, and I mean, if Beto was literally a half yard behind where he was, It was literally a toe poke into an empty net, but he just overrun it and had to come back and have the shot again. That's behind for the corner. Everton on the counter-attack there, looks really dangerous. Garner with a set piece. High to the back post. And O'Reilly got his head to that. I think Tarkowski was in the battle too, as Kushanov and Tarkowski go face to face. All smiles, laughing it off, of course. Nothing was going to happen there. Not a chance in hell. No, Michael Oliver just having to set the ground rules. Just trying to add some calm. Be the mediator, Michael Oliver. Yeah, we see it again. They're just grappling at each other, and Tarkowski did get the last touch there, it looked like, on that header. Kushanov was a little bit peeved off that Tarkowski had a hold of his shirt, and then they both kind of got face to face. Nothing out of that though. Oh, Garner, nutmeg by Haaland. Here's Cherky on the break. Down the right hand side comes Semenyo. He's got Mikolenko in his way. Semenyo held up for the moment, cuts onto his left, beats past another man, finds it to Cherky. Guides it back across the Gerhi on the edge of the area, recycles it to Doku. Doku, bit of space to shoot. Blocked by Irabunum. And City right back on the horse then to charge for the lead. It has been a game of half chances to this point, you got to say. Probably the best chance of the game has come from a moment that wasn't even a shot, which was the Beto run. But Donnarumma didn't make the save from the roll cross. Beto just overrun the ball. That would have been probably the best chance of the game. Either side has had the side of goal. As Beto wins the free kick for Everton. Haaland messing about with the ball. It's just kind of added a bit of frustration, and again more banter between him and James Tarkowski. All good-natured. Pickford will take this free kick. Pickford pings it out to that right-hand flank. Right, O'Brien was the target, but he got his head to it first. Puts it out for the Everton throw. Into the last 10 minutes of the first half, and you think Everton have just had a little bit of a fight back. 41% of the possession in the last 10 minutes has been in Man City's final third. 43 in the middle, just 16% in the last 10 minutes in the Everton final third. So a real momentum swing on that front. Everton have made much more of a competition of this in the last 10-15 minutes. You kind of feel that when Manchester City were on top in the first 20 minutes, kind of felt like they had to score in that moment because they weren't going to have all that domination for the full 90. Close, not close enough on too many occasions to really threaten Jordan Pickford. Semenyo weighted ball in behind. Nunes with the inside run, and his cross blocked by Garner. City corner. That's going to be their 6th corner of the game. And Cherky over to take it. He rushed his way over, but he's taken his time to allow his teammates to get into the box, and he's not even going to take it, Ryan Cherky. Someone else is going to take it. It will be Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, left-footed, right deep, punched away by Pickford. Down to Cherky. He was challenged well by Dewsbury Hall, but back to Kushanov it comes, and Jai there to nip it away from Bernardo Silva. I have to say, they've not had much attacking to do, Everton, in this first half, but out of possession. Jai, Dewsbury Hall, Beto, all worked really hard. Not make it easy for Man City between the lines. Cherky, that's a lovely reverse ball, finds Bernardo Silva, but Irabunum was there to dispossess Cherky the second time. He's down a bit of a blind alley here. Runs into trouble as Nunes wins it back. Here's Gonzalez. Has to go backwards. This is the 185th meeting between the two sides in history. City have won 78 of those meetings. Everton with 60, 46 draws. So City have shaded it. And certainly their recent run has massively shaded it in their favour. Press of Everton there, working hard to win it back well as Pickford picks up. Yeah, one thing you have to say about David Moyes' team, they're really strong out of possession. Really compact, really stubborn when they need to be, but they can really get after you if they need to. They're a side that have a good press. When they engage it, well, they can really suffocate you. It's about when they choose to trigger that press. There's O'Reilly out wide to Doku. Up against O'Brien. Doku finds it half yard, and Cherky again couldn't keep his shot down from inside the area. Blasted it over the crossbar. Again, Doku leaving anybody that's... I mean, no matter what Everton player stands in his way down that side, they've not had a sniff on Jeremy Doku. He's torn them apart. And every time, and he whips that ball back across the area, you think something's going to happen. And so far, there's just been no way for them to keep their shots down. I mean, Doku's done everything he could out in that left flank to try and deliver the best possible balls that he can into the box. Semenyo, lovely touch, fends off the challenge of Mykolenko. Semenyo chops inside, runs into Garner, but he gets beaten for pace. Now Cherky, lovely bit of skill. Cherky back across. Has to go with a reverse pass. All that build up, and then they have to reverse it back. Everton gets so many bodies back and close out any spaces. "40 minutes gone, 5 to go with the first half plus additional time. Everton 0, Manchester City 0 here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. One ball down the left, O'Reilly clipped the cross, blocked. Goal kick it will be. Last touch off Nico O'Reilly, and James Garner was claiming for it. And referee Michael Oliver duly obliges. Goal kick to Everton. AJ says, I'm driving across Ireland, 30 minutes from home. Please can I have a shout out? Thank you very much for joining us, AJ. Great to have your company for this one this evening. And anybody who's watching, thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like the stream if you're enjoying it. Do press subscribe, it does massively help the channel to keep growing. And do hit that push notification bell because you don't want to miss out on anything that happens between now and the end of the season. So much at stake. You won't miss a thing here in LFS between now and the 24th of May when the Premier League season concludes. City with a throw in here in their own half. I have to say, the possession's looking a little bit more positive for Everton, albeit in the grand scheme of things it's pretty terrible and 22%, but it's a lot more healthy than it was 20 minutes ago. Here's Jeremy Doku, bit of space, left it for Semenyo. Now Cherky cuts it back. Doku got his footing wrong and Irabunum could block it, but it's not cleared away. Doku, Semenyo, everybody in the way, shuffling across. Bernardo Silva swung it out to Cherky. Takes it down well. 1v1, cuts it back. Doku, edge of the area. Trying to spin one! Oh, what a finish! Jeremy Doku, top corner. Manchester City lead. Jeremy Doku's been delivering crosses in all night. He says, I've had enough. I'm going to do it myself. And absolutely fires it into the top left corner. Caress from Jeremy Doku. He's been by far City's best player tonight. And it was only going to be him that was going to find the net. The rest of the City attackers have faltered chance after chance. And Jeremy Doku gets one side of goal and says, let me show you how it's done. Onto his left, a half yard of space if that pass Garner, and just caresses it so beautifully into that top left corner. Pickford full stretch had no chance. It is as nonchalant as a finish as you'll ever get from Jeremy Doku. That was fabulous. It really felt like this game was going to need a bit of individual quality to find the breakthrough. Wow, says Pep Guardiola. And that is what his team possess in abundance. Individual skill and brilliance. And it was well and truly on show there from Jeremy Doku. Everton 0, Manchester City 1. And there's the live table. City going within 3 points of the Gunners at the top as it stands. Everton's trying to show a fight back here as O'Brien runs into Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to shield this ball. O'Brien still on the back of him. Wins it back fairly. Here's Merlin Roll. Back to O'Brien. A little bit of a glimmer here. And then he tries a bit of skill and messes it all up. And then Roll, I think, is offside anyway. Well, Jeremy Doku has been absolutely fantastic so far. I said he'd been doing everything he could to give his teammates a chance, his best a chance, to find the opener. 5 progressive carries. He's been fouled twice. Dribbled 2 out of 3 times successfully. 43 touches. 3 key passes. There's an issue here. There's going to be a free kick and a yellow card. It's I have to see the replay. I missed it there. Michael Keane is the one that looks like is involved here with Jeremy Doku. Oh, he's late. He's a little high, Michael Keane there. Oh, he might just get away with this. It's a yellow card given by the referee, but wonder what Paul Howard and VAR thinks. Well, they are checking it for a possible red card. You kind of have to say he's late. He catches him low, which I think is what saves Michael Keane here. Just kind of catches him at the top of the foot rather than on his ankle. If it was ankle, it was a red card all day long, but Michael Keane just about gets away with a yellow card. Doku in real pain. It's certainly not helped him that it was low. Still in real pain. I mean, he was absolutely clattered by Michael Keane, but the contact, the force onto his boot is right clear. It's studs onto the top of his foot. It's a real painful one for Jeremy Doku. But I have to say, I think yellow card is right there, in my opinion. Any higher, and it was red, but he just gets away with it there, Michael Keane. Very, very fine margins, but I think the yellow's the right side of the decision there. Michael Oliver made the correct call. We're a minute and a half into 2 added minutes. We'll play a little bit more, of course, due to this stoppage. And City with a free kick wide on the left. Doku has to come off the field, but that's the rules. You have to come off the field after you receive some treatment for at least 30 seconds. It's a stupid rule, but it's the rules. Free kick then for City. Bernardo Silva that's over it. Wide on the left. Swung in with the left boot. He got his head to it, but deflected. And as it bounces down, Pickford quickly chases to catch the ball. Distribution there with his left arm there from Pickford. Garner finding Irabunam. Can they have a last-ditch challenge? Oh, Doku snuck behind his man O'Brien. Back onto the field and back into the possession. Irabunam wins the ball fairly. And that is going to stop the game for the moment. Doku is down again. And the referee is just going to chat to them. And I think they're actually going to call half-time here. I thought it was maybe for a free kick, but half-time it is. And in a first half that City have dominated for a lot of it. Everton have had one or two glimmers of hope themselves, but it is a moment of pure class from Jeremy Doku that separates the sides. A caressing finish into the top left corner. Sweeps Manchester City in front and cuts the Arsenal lead at the top, at least for now, in half. Half-time at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. It's Everton 0, Manchester City 1. Your one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in, the header is in! By Virgil van Dijk! Incredible!
Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life.
Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half-time, it is Everton 0, Manchester City 1 at the break. Jeremy Doku's absolutely quality finish is the difference between the two sides at half-time, and a wonderful, wonderful goal from Jeremy Doku that has City in front. We'll show you what that means for the table in a moment. A quick recap of the results of the weekend. Leeds 3-1 winners against Burnley, almost securing their safety in the Premier League this season. Brentford 3-0 winners, putting damage to West Ham's hopes of safety and dropping them into the bottom three as a result. Newcastle, a much needed victory against informed Brighton. 3-1 winners at St James's Park were the Magpies. It was 1-1 between Wolves and 10-man Sunderland at Molineux. Arsenal made easy work of London rivals Fulham, 3-0 victors there at the Emirates. Speaking of 3-0, Bournemouth ultimately putting Crystal Palace to the sword at the Vitality by the same scoreline on Sunday lunchtime. Man United eking out a 3-2 win, another classic between two of the best sides in England yesterday at Old Trafford, and Kobbie Mainoo's winner the difference between the sides. 11th league defeat of the season for Arne Slot's Liverpool. And Spurs ultimately winning for the second time in a row. Like London buses, they couldn't win for 3.5 months, and they win twice on the bounce. A big win away at Aston Villa, damaging Villa's push for the top 5. They're still in the top 5 and still a couple points clear, but maybe a little bit more open than they would have wanted. And a Spurs side now well, firmly and truly in the fight to stay in the Premier League. 2-1 winners there. And Forest winning by 3-1 against Chelsea. It's now 6 defeats in a row for Chelsea, but at least they scored this time, which they hadn't done in their previous 5. Chelsea dropping down the table massively, and Forest and Spurs winning with West Ham losing. That is a massive body blow to the Hammers in their hopes for survival. A quick look at the table at half-time, and we can show you what that half-time lead for Manchester City does to the table. It puts them, of course, they stay second no matter what tonight, but it certainly puts them within 3 points of the Gunners. It will be their 22nd win of the season after 34 games, and they would need just one more in the 35th game to go back level on points with Arsenal. Arsenal put the gauntlet down of 2 back-to-back wins. City are halfway to their first win in response, and that is the way it looks at the moment. A reminder for you, what's to come here in LFS tomorrow night. It's another blockbuster at the Emirates. Big night for the Gunners. Can they reach the Champions League final for the first time in 21 years? 2005 the last time they were there. Can they get back there? Spanish opposition standing in their way. Atletico Madrid, a 1-1 draw from the first leg. The second and decisive leg tomorrow, 8 o'clock on LFS. But a massive second half to come at the Hill Dickinson. It is Everton 0, City 1 on the break. Second half on the way next.
Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life.
Welcome back to Premier League Live. Second half at the Hill Dickinson Stadium between Everton and Manchester City is on the way in just a moment. Don't forget though to like, subscribe and turn on push notifications if you haven't done so already. That'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us this evening in what is to be the business end of the season. We're into the final month of the season, and there is a lot still to be decided. So you don't want to miss a thing here on LFS, and you won't if you do all those things I just said to you. They're all free, so why not? If you're enjoying it, hit that subscribe button. Why not? It certainly helps us, and it gives you a chance to keep right up to date with everything happening in the Champions League, Europa League final, Premier League final weeks, Championship as well in the playoffs, and of course everything that happens between now and the end of the season in all the big competitions. We get back underway here on Merseyside, and so far Everton, we had to do a lot of defending in that first half. The trail by a goal to nil with that fabulous finish by Jeremy Doku. He tore them to pieces in that first half. Doku's third league goal of the season has City 1-0 to the good. And we're trying to start the second half where they left the first off, on the front foot. Here is Ryan Cherky. Off to the right, plays it onto the inside, and Bernardo Silva rocketed one. Now O'Reilly has a go. And that took a deflection and comfortably retrieved by Jordan Pickford ultimately. Well, another point to make about the Premier League title race, we actually had the graphic ready to go. We put it in the preview at the start of the stream about what the title race looks like and the remaining fixtures. We'll get that graphic up for you very shortly, but it also, we put in goals scored. It could come down to that. At the moment, both Arsenal and Manchester City will have scored the exact same number of goals. Obviously there's 3 points of difference, but there is a scenario where they could go into a point where they have the same goal difference and the same number of goals scored. There is a possibility that that could happen. There is a scenario where that could be the case. Here's Beto, breaks in behind. Closed out well. Mark Guehi with a key tackle. But Everton showing a bit of fight. They really struggled in that first half to really lay a glove on Manchester City. They had that one huge chance with Beto, but other than that, they really struggled to test Man City. Still without a shot on target in the game, so they'll want to correct that soon if they can, Everton. But as I said earlier, they only had one shot on target against City in the reverse fixture, so it's not like they have a history of blasting their way past their opponents. There's going to be a flag up there for offside against Manchester, against Everton, and Beto. You see it here, he's maybe just inches off yard. It's very offside. It's very, very narrow. I think it's Kushanov that makes might be the last man there for City, but he just about gets away with it. Beto a little bit too eager to win the ball back off Guehi, and he's going to get a yellow card here for his quite cynical tackle on the City centre-back. Yeah, I mean, it's just idiotic really from Beto, jumping in there to try and tackle for the ball. I understand why he did it, but it's just an idiotic thing to do. He got a yellow card for his troubles. Bernardo Silva, calm and composed, swung one out to Semenyo on the right flank. He's got Mikalenko for company, and Njai can't dispossess City for the moment. Everton, and Semenyo clipped that there. Fair tackle, says the referee. And now we will have to stop the game as Semenyo's down holding his head, but something's telling me that's a bit tactical. Maybe he is hurt, Semenyo, but the crowd certainly feel that he's play acting. They would say that. See it here, Semenyo. Fabulous challenge by Garner. See it here. Fabulous tackle. And Mikalenko just in the way, really. They kind of just collide, him and Semenyo. He is down being checked up on, but only 2 shots on target from 18 total shots in the game. 14 of those 18 have been for Manchester City, and they've had the only 2 shots on target tonight. And the key one, that beautiful goal from Jeremy Doku, an XG of 0.05. Absolute perler into the top corner. There's John Stones on the City bench, of course. Announced this week that he would be leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. we see some of the City absentees, Rodri there. Rascovardi all amongst Ruben Diaz as well on the sidelines. Well, Semenyo is up and sitting up, and he is in pain here. He isn't able to move freely with his neck, so there is concern for the moment as we see this absolute beauty from Jeremy Doku again. It's absolutely, I mean, use whatever word you want to use. It's absolutely sensational. Perfect. I mean, it's a quality finish. And thankfully, Antoine Semenyo is up and okay. Gives the thumbs up, so should be okay to continue. Just cracks his neck a little bit there, just gets him back into focus. And Jeremy Doku, I have to say, has upped his output in the last few games. Scored here tonight. He's actually been involved in 4 goals in his last 4 Man City appearances. Got a goal and an assist at Wembley for City to put them through to another FA Cup final. He assisted the winner against Burnley away from home and scored in the 3-0 win over Chelsea. So certainly away from the Etihad, he's been very frivolous, I have to say. Oh, loose there from Shirky, and it's a little open, and Dewsbury Hall from range there. Saul's name and lights, and maybe the lights got in his eyes because that finish over the crossbar. David Moyes is watching on. No frustration for David Moyes. Side, when they have, on the rare occasion, got forward, they just haven't been able to do enough to get past City, as Tarkowski's going to be penalised here for a foul on Erling Haaland, and he's going to get a yellow card as well. The Everton centre-backs, that's both Everton centre-backs now on a yellow. City are going to be rubbing their hands together with that prospect. 2 Everton centre-backs on a yellow. Tarkowski's 7th of the season. And Erling Haaland winning that free kick, and a little wry smile from the Norwegian as he enters the box there. Cherky goes short to Doku. Just give the ball to Doku, see what he does. Clips it to the back post, and that was a dangerous ball. Just maybe a little bit high, but certainly the right execution. Perfect weight of cross. Perfect area to swing it into. Just a little bit high maybe in the end, and another opportunity there for Manchester City in the final third. A little bit more open in the second half, but that might benefit City as Doku was the target in behind, but O'Brien and Keane were in cover, and Michael Keane launches that one up the field, but O'Reilly heads it into Gonzalez. He was tackled, but just about did enough to get it away from Dewsbury Hall. Now Cherky, right to Semenyo. Certainly a bit more fight from Everton, there's no doubt about that. They are certainly getting themselves about a bit more. Have more, certainly more possession than they did in the first half, so they've made some half-time adjustments, but they can land a glove on City, cause them a bit of concern. Keep themselves in the game, certainly. If it stays at 1-0, you never know, they can nick a goal from somewhere, but certainly they need to give themselves that chance. So far they really haven't. It's now the 3rd game in a row where they've went 1-0 down, Everton, in the game. Actually the 4th game in a row, apologies. They failed to win any of their last 3. A draw and 2 defeats. Late winners in those last 2 games for West Ham and Liverpool. And a 2-2 draw against Brentford. It was a late equaliser for Everton on that one, so certainly what recent Everton games tell you is don't switch off before added time, because there might be a game-changing goal coming late in those games. We'll see if that bears a return tonight. Here is Njai off the left, switches in field, but lots of City players in his way. Nicely recovered though by Garner. That Garner can't find the ball down the line. That's out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. Been a more open and expansive Everton, but it's about finding that balance. Yes, you want to find that leveler, but also you don't want to give City a clean opportunity to find a second, and that's a ball by Doku. Tarkowski getting in the way, and O'Reilly just tumbling over. That's going to be nothing in that, really. I think it might be a free kick to Everton, actually. It's been given by the referee. Applause from Pep Guardiola. Knows this is going to be far from easy between now and the final whistle. It's never easy to go to Everton and win. No matter what the stats say, that City have had all sorts of fun when they've gone away to Everton, but Pep Guardiola certainly won't tell you that. Say it's always a difficult game, even though they've got the job done in the last 8 occasions, which is a fantastic record, by the way. I mean, Goodison Park was a horror place to play, and to win on your last 8 trips to Goodison, one hell of a job. Dewsbury Hall holding off Kushanov and gets the better of Kushanov, but battles back as the City centre-back and wins it fairly. Here is Haaland on the turn. He fends off Irabunim's tackle. Gets away from Garner. Haaland on the stride. He lays the ball off and gets back to his feet. Doku. Way through there. Has to spin back. Find Gonzalez. Cherky to Guehi. Now Bernardo Silva. He's got a space to drift. O'Reilly out to the left for Doku. Is Everton back in shape? City probing around in the Everton half. Semenyo. Mikolenko onto his left. Semenyo stretches and wins it back quickly. And then Jai's there to help out his teammate. He's wrestled to the ground fairly again, said the referee. As hooked clear by Michael Keane. First glimpse of the ball and they clear it. Again, given right back to Manchester City the possession. And that is a lapse in concentration from Bernardo Silva. A rare lapse from the City captain. And that's a free throw-in to Everton. Keane high up the field. Header down by Guehi. A little bit awkward for Gonzalez. Again, City find a way to work it out really, really well. Under pressure. Haaland to Cherky. Second goal here would be a killer. Here's Doku to Cherky. Again, no way through. Silva comes onto the scene. Rinse and repeat. Guehi. That's an extra body up the field. On a little mazy run of his own here. Gets a ball into the box. Bernardo Silva lays it off to Cherky. Edge of the area. Trying to fend past Garner, who battled his way to win it back. And now a wrestle down, and Everton given the advantage here. Beto steps inside. Finds Njai. He's got a run of roll on. It's Njai. He's got all the space and room. Donnarumma makes the double-handed save to his right to stop Iliman Njai's efforts. Well, there was all the talk of Roll or Beto, who were the options, but Njai The space just kept opening up for him. And when he got the chance to shoot, he shot with his left, trying to tuck it in the left corner. Well, parried away by Donnarumma. Mykolenko to take the throw. Launched into the area, and Guéhi had to head it behind. They're calling for handball, the crowd. Referee saw no issues, giving a corner right away, but of course anything unorthodox, the VAR will have a look, but didn't look anything strange. No, definitely not. Straight off the head of Guéhi. Never done in years. So we hit the hour mark inside the Hill Dickinson. Garner's corner. Right-footed. Garner swung in. Donnarumma punches again. Had to climb over a number of players there to punch. And Irabunan wins the throw in here for Everton. Well, Everton have had one or two opportunities in the last couple of minutes. It really tests Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's had a quiet night. Donnarumma not had much to do. Long throw, it's more of a high throw in than a long one. Oh, bobbling around, and Roll couldn't take control. And City can clear up the field towards Doku again, who's been their out ball all night, and he's won them a free kick. That's really, really smart from Jeremy Doku. Fabulous play. I have to say, Jeremy Doku is probably his best game. I mean, he's played excellently over the last few weeks. He was incredible in that FA Cup semi-final, but in terms of the Premier League, he's probably had one of his best games of the season, if not his best game of the season here tonight. He's been absolutely fantastic. I'd probably say that Liverpool game back in November, where he tore Liverpool to pieces that night. Very similar type of performance. He was excellent that game, and he's been excellent here tonight. He mustn't like Merseyside clubs. He really mustn't. Liverpool and Everton, two of his best league performances this season. Bernardo Silva. Haaland. Gonzalez. Right to the right it goes. Cherky. Between the lines. Hasn't had it all his own way tonight, Ryan Cherky, but I mean, he's still been able to get an assist here somehow for that Doku goal. Here's Semenyo. Trying to beat past Mykolenko, who just wrestled him off well, and is going to shield that behind for the goal kick. Well, it was going to be goal kick. I think they've given a free kick instead for the foul on Mykolenko by Semenyo. As Everton going to make their first change of the evening, a straight striker swap. As Tierno Barry's going to replace Beto. And Tierno Barry has scored 6 Premier League goals this season, but his last was against Newcastle back in February. His last goal here was on the 26th of January in a 1-1 draw with Leeds. Well, he's going to have to find his shooting boots tonight, Tierno Barry, if Everton are going to get back into this game. As I said, they're still awaiting a real major chance. Oh, that's broke for Njai. He's in behind Njai. Donnarumma with an unbelievable save. And Iliman Njai with an absolute massive gilt-edged chance. I mean, this here, Barry with his first involvement flicks this one on. A bit of confusion between the City centre-backs. It's actually Nunes and Guéhi. And then Njai just breaks for him in behind, goes 1v1 in the area, and strides with his right foot off the instep. Doesn't get the curl on it, or the angle right. And Donnarumma makes a big save, but, well, that is as best a chance as Iliman Njai could have asked for. A best a chance as Everton could have asked for to try and tie this game up. And Arsenal fans will be going mental that should have been a 1-1. And the Everton fans, more pertinently, would have been desperate for that to bundle into the net. That is a huge moment. We've seen it so many times in title races. Fine margins over the years. That big gilt ends chance that the opponent doesn't take. And City got away with one massively there. Maybe the slice of luck they probably deserve for their performance tonight. As Barry wins it back off Bernardo Silva, and he's trying to beat the goalkeeper. And he's put too much on that one massively. And Donnarumma not happy with his team, trying to get them back up to their level. Yeah, good save by Donnarumma, but Njai just doesn't get the spin, the curl on the finish that he would have wanted from that sort of angle. Bernardo Silva, a bit more end-to-end now, much more open game. Here's O'Reilly. Who will that benefit more? O'Reilly drifting into midfield. Cherky, Guehi, down the left to Bernardo Silva. Wide to Doku. Back to Cherky. O'Reilly. Wide again to Doku. Just haven't been able to, on a consistent basis, City, break down this really stubborn Everton defence. Here's a chance though, Doku. He's looking, I mean, the run of Nico O'Reilly was the option there, but he didn't decide to take it, Doku. Didn't decide to make that pass. You have to recycle it here, Man City. Bit of indecisiveness there. Kushanov, lovely run forward, Checky run into trouble. And Tierno Barry's going to win a free kick there off Nico O'Reilly. And that's going to be an opportunity for Everton to get up the field. Well, already, he's only on the field a few minutes, Tierno Barry's, and already put himself in key positions. Made some key moments already. For only 3 minutes since his introduction, his first involvement was probably a perfect start with a little flick with a header that ultimately the ball dropped to Iliman Ndiaye. You couldn't convert, but they've come incredibly close on a few occasions tonight, Everton. Despite having 6 less shots in the game, they've had the same number of shots on target as Man City. City's last shot was in the first minute of the second half. 46th minute, their last registered shot, Manchester City. That was Nico O'Reilly. So it's been 21 minutes since they had a shot on the Everton goal. Roll tried to feed it in behind. Oh, it's dropped for Barry! And that's 1-1! The flag's going to go up though. Mark Guehi probably bailed out massively. And Everton thought they had a leveller. But there comes the flag to ultimately. I mean, this is awful. This is awful. What on earth is Mark Guehi doing? He's bailed out massively. The flag was up, so Barry was offside from the initial pass. But as Guehi plays it backwards, he's coming back from an offside position technically. Therefore, he can't score. Although, they've given it. Actually, the referee's changed his mind. 1-1. And a bit of confusion leads to an Everton leveller. Tierno Barry does have his dance, and Everton have their equaliser. Well, just to clarify, I thought, and I think everybody thought, even the assistant thought, that because he was offside he couldn't impact therefore after. But the argument made by the referee was that Mark Guehi was in control of the ball, knew what he was doing playing the ball back to his goalkeeper. Therefore, they can't be offside. It's a back pass, and Tierno Barry is there to snatch it and put it into the back of the nets. Confusion, but ultimately the right decision, and Everton have a deserved equaliser. Mark Guehi laying it on a plate for the Everton number 11, who makes it 1-1, and a defensive error unlocks the door of Manchester City. And now, this game is up for grabs. 20 minutes to go. We're all square at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Now we're on for a grandstand finish. Here's Doku. Runs into Jake O'Brien, but referee says it's a foul. Free kick then to City. Well, I think that's the first time in the VAR era that the referee's gone to the assistant to have a conversation about a goal rather than VAR. Nice to see. Didn't need VAR intervention for that one. Here's Bernardo Silva with this City free kick then. They will be keen to find a leveler, or another goal, City, very quickly to respond to that Everton equaliser. But as it stands, the gap at the top would be 5 points. Oh, broken behind. Pickford got there quickly. So a 5-point gap would remain at the top if it stands, ends the way it does right now. Arsenal will be on 76. City will be on 71 with a game in hand, but they would need Arsenal to drop points to have a chance at getting back at them. And a City team who absolutely trounced their way all over Everton, run through them in that first half, have had one hell of a tough task in the second, and have been slightly on the back foot in the second half, you gotta say. The ball back to Donnarumma. Barry was chasing, but Irabunum's down here. And Keane, Mikolenko. They play on here, Everton, but they don't want to stop the game. Njai got on the back of his man. They're in again here, Everton. Iliman Njai! Deflected wide. He's got a corner out of it. My goodness me. Well, where has this come all of a sudden? I mean, it's Guehi 1 minute, it's Kushanov the next. They cannot hold off an Everton player. They are absolutely crumbling here, the City defenders. And Iliman Njai slaloming his way through into the box, and it's a late challenge from Guehi that deflects it behind for the corner. But City on the ropes here all of a sudden. And Everton trying to find a second goal to take the lead. Right footed delivery. Oh, the header is in! It's Jake O'Brien! And Everton have turned it all the way around. An absolute jubile in Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton have turned it on its head, and from City dominance to Toffee dominance, and Everton are over and in front for the first time in the night. City have been stunned in the last 5 minutes, and Everton from nowhere have turned it on its head, and from City leading to them now trailing, this is coming as quick as a flash. And Jake O'Brien the one to direct it past Donnarumma and into the net. See it here. It's O'Brien, free header, front post, and just directs it into the nets. Off the back of his head, whether he knew much about it or not, he won't care. And Pep Guardiola takes a sip of water. And this is one hell of a turnaround. Donnarumma's been given a yellow card for his frustrations that he handed out to the referee, but well, what a game this is turning out to be. Is this a momentum swing galore in the title race? They're going to make a change. Kovacic is going to come on here for Manchester City, as is Phil Foden. So a double substitution. Antoine Semenyo and Nico Gonzalez are coming off for City, so quick reaction to that second Everton goal. Double City substitution. My goodness me, what a game. What a turnaround we've seen in this game. Foden challenged by Garner. And a quarter of an hour for City to save themselves in a title race. We said there was no margin for error for City. Well, it's been an error-filled second half that has seen this City dominant lead come crumbling down, and Everton in front with 15 to go. But here comes Gerhi trying to make up for his mistake. Runs into Irabunum. And now Everton on the move again. Dewsbury Hall eked it through. Another slip. Njai's in behind. They're in for 3 here. Ilimin Njai. Right down the throat of Donnarumma. Well, what on earth has happened to City? What has happened? Can you believe this? I cannot. That's going to be a free kick. Turkey brought down by Micholenko. Well, we have one hell of a game in our hands now. One hell of a game in our hands. I mean, we always ask for these type of games in title races, but it's been City who've been unwavering in these situations before. Here's Doku. Breaking down the left, cuts it back from the byline, blocked by Keane. Gerhi recycles, now Kovacic. Out to the right, Nunes, onto Bernardo Silva, onto his left. Mikolenko in his way, but he swings in the cross. Cleared away by Keane. Gets his head to that. No way through there with a City possession. Now, Keane picks it up in an advanced area, but he has to try and find the pass and doesn't do so. Given away. Here is Cherky. Can a player in City colours grab the game by the scruff of the neck and change it? It's going to have to be one hell of a turnaround if City are to win this from here. But they're pushing for it. And Everton with the lead. I've had all of the second half drama. They've had all of the good play in the attacks in the second period. But can City snatch another? Oh, it's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the box here. Phil Foden was brought down right on the vicinity, right on the verge. And Michael Oliver gives them the free kick. We'll see it here again. It is Garner, just trips Phil Foden on the edge of the box. Free kick, nothing more. Opportunity for City from the dead ball spot. You need to take a drink. This has been mental. A mental second half. Absolutely mental. Oh, if there's ever a man you need in this moment, it's Jordan Pickford. You have to say. And time ticking away. And that away end in the far corner, much quieter than they were 20 minutes ago. Strike from range. Cherky off targets. Cherky measured up for it. He swung it round the wall. And he just couldn't get it back on target. Wide it goes. You see this chance for Njai. Again, another defensive slip from City. It's Matej Nunes. Njai breaks in behind, and as he cuts onto his right, ultimately again the shot just kind of off balance, couldn't create the power with his standing leg to travel through the ball. Just kind of clips it towards the City goalkeeper. And the two Peps trying to come up with a solution. Flick on by Barry, but that one's going to find the arms of Donnarumma. He certainly won't be getting the Golden Glove now. That's confirmed. Well, David Raya will certainly get it, at least. It's 4 clean sheets ahead with only 4 City games to go, so he can only match it, Donnarumma, but that's if Raya doesn't keep a clean sheet between now and the end of the season, which looks very unlikely. Arsenal's defence strengthening us. A challenge and a half from Irabunum. Wonderful challenges. Barry tries to go 1v1. Doku helping out Mark Gerhi. Doku right on his own byline here. Has it nipped away from him, but Barry's deemed to have committed the foul on the opposite number in Jeremy Doku, and that's a City free kick. A reminder for you, the Champions League is back tomorrow night, the second legs of the semi-finals. Who will be our first Champions League finalists? Will it be Arsenal or will it be Atletico Madrid? We'll find out from the Emirates tomorrow, 8 o'clock on LFS. Well, the Arsenal fans will watch that one tomorrow, but they'll be watching this one keenly tonight. And will be very happy, Gunners, I'm sure, at this point. With 10 minutes to go. Everton are leading Man City by 2-1. A scoreline that would see City remain 6 points behind, with now just one game in hand, which would massively give Arsenal a boost. It would mean Arsenal will have to lose one of their final 3 games and City to win the rest of the way out to level themselves on points. So it is massively in Arsenal's hands. As here comes Roll. He's broke away from a man in Kovacic. Merlin Roll, and it's rolled its way to Barry, who tucks it in for 3-1. And that is going to put the final nail in the Manchester City coffin. And that is going to really curtail what was a fantastic night brewing has come crumbling down for Manchester City. A half-time lead that was narrow, was slim through pure individual quality. But a second half they really just haven't shown up for. And Everton have come out and torn them to pieces in this second half. Everton 3, City 1, and they all look on in disbelief as to what they have been on the wrong end of here. But again, I don't understand how Manchester City are so open. He's well onside, no doubt about that, Tierno Barry, but I mean, how on earth? They've been so vulnerable, so exposed, so all over the place defensively in the second half, City. And now they've started to leave, those City fans. They feel the hope is lost for the evening. Here comes Erling Haaland though. He chips the goalkeeper, he gets one back. No sooner before Everton take a 2-goal lead than City have it back to 1. 3-2. And they're all saying, get back in here, it's not done yet. 3-2. And look at that. Well, we talk about mistakes at the back from City, but what a ball this is through the middle. Haaland splitting the centre-backs, charging through like true Norwegian force. And Erling Haaland onto his left foot and just chips it over Jordan Pickford. And this is not over yet. 3-2. And maybe, just maybe, they were leaving, those City fans. They've spun a 180 and said, oh, we'll wait and see what happens. 3-2. They're away again. Here's Doku. Could this all come crumbling down for Everton? Goodness me. Doku. Spins back. Kovacic. Off balance there. Sees it fly over the crossbar. I don't know why he's having a shot there, Mateo Kovacic. What on earth is he doing there? That is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Well, that Erling Haaland goal was Man City's first shot on target of the second half in the 83rd minute. 38 minutes of the second half without a shot on target, City. Their first of the half. Erling Haaland makes it 3-2. His 25th league goal of the season. And now here come Everton. It's end to end. Barry on a hat-trick. And he's going a corner here. Well, Tierno Barry, what a super sub he's been. On the field in 64th minute. And within 17 minutes, he scored 2 goals. Scored inside 4 minutes to make it 1-1. And scored the most recent for Everton. Their third. 3-2, an absolute cracker of a goal fest here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Garner to take this corner. Swung it in with the right foot, cleared away at the near post. The player down in the area, Irabudum here, holding on to the ball. A little back heel there from Garner, finds Barry, just about ekes his way past O'Reilly. He fires it into the area, roll on the end of it. Couldn't get something to get it past Gehi. It's hooked up the field by City. Header by Keane, brought down by O'Reilly. 5 minutes of normal time to go. Everton 3, Man City 2. Is there another goal in this? Foden with a switch. Out to Doku. Up against O'Brien. Doku beats past Jake O'Brien. Was taken out in the process. That's going to be a free kick, and that's surely going to be a yellow card. For Jake O'Brien it is. Well, he's done well, to be fair, Jake O'Brien, to wait to take it to the 86th minute before he gets a yellow card. Jeremy Doku's tore them to pieces down that side all night. How long ago it failed since Jeremy Doku opened the scoring in this game. That feels like a lifetime ago. Michael Oliver laying down the 10-yard marker. We see, I said there was a player down in the box a little earlier from that Everton corner. I think it was Merlin Roll. And Bernardo Silva just wrestles Merlin Roll to the ground, not fighting for the ball. He's lucky that the ball was nowhere near Roll in the end, because he could have been in danger there. Bernardo Silva of giving away a penalty. Nonetheless, City free kick on the opposite end. We're going to see Marmouche come onto the field for Bernardo Silva. So Bernardo Silva replaced by Omar Marmouche. Can Ryan Cherky snatch another moment here for Manchester City? Right-footed, swung round the back post, headed away. Not fully cleared though, as Foden will receive on the right. Fending off Mikolenko. Foden. Back to Matej Nunes, now Phil Foden. Back to Nunes again. City with everybody in the box. Foden's going to hit one from range. And that one swung off target at the last second. It was worth a hit from Phil Foden. He opened it up onto his left, but he was well off target in the end. Just couldn't get a spin on it, and it certainly spun the opposite direction of the goal. Well, hands on head from a couple of those City fans. Is their title race taking a massive body blow tonight? Despite snatching a second here after Everton went 3-1 up. Everton are hanging on in there to make sure that they can try and hold on for the 3 points here. What will be a massive 3 points for Everton's push for Europe. What will be a massive defeat in the wrong sense for Manchester City in their push for the title. Gerhi's long ball flicked on by Haaland. Blocked by Tarkowski, picked up by Kovacic. Now Marmouche out to the right hand side comes Cherky. Less than 2 minutes of the 90 to go. Cherky couldn't get past Mikolenko. Nicely retrieved though. Here is Cherky. Kovacic. Swung it out to the right hand side. Nunes. Back to Foden. Now Kovacic. Through the lines it goes. Shot from Marmouche. Blocked. As bundling his man over there, Matej Nunes. That's going to be an Everton free kick. And Kiernan Dewsbury Hall winning that free kick for the Toffees there. It just ekes even more time off the clock. Well, what a second half performance from Everton. They've blown City apart in the second period. For a team that had less than 25% possession in the first half, they had 26% in the second. But the difference is, in the first half, they had 3 shots, none on target. The second half, they've had 11 shots, 6 on target. So they've not changed possession-wise, but they have been much, much more dangerous without the ball, Everton, in this second half. And City are looking like that is going to see them unpicked and undone at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. They might have won 8 straight against Everton away from home in the Premier League, but they're going to have one hell of a task to make it 9 in a row. Everton are going to break that hoodoo. 17 games in a row they've failed to beat Man City since January 2017. 9.5 years is it going to come to an end tonight, or will City just snatch a leveller? Well, here's Tierno Barry. He couldn't get very far. Good challenge there by Gehi. 90 minutes is up. 6 added. Is there time for a winner? Let's hope so. Or for a leveller, sorry, from City. Not a winner. Well, you never know. Doku. Gehi swung it to the back post. Holland was the target, and Pickford threw it up in the air and was playing catchies with himself there. Into the hands it comes of Jordan Pickford. Oh, Barry gets a little bit too loose with his possession. Marmouche breaking away with the fresh legs, but Barry tracking it all the way back. Tried to clear it up the field, didn't get very far. Let's see these Everton changes then, and true tactics, making changes in added time to eke out the clock. Nathan Patterson's going to replace Merlin Roll, so extra defensive solidity from David Moyes elected for here, and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall is going to be replaced by Carlos Alcaraz. Not the tennis player, the footballer. So Patterson and Alcaraz on, Roll and Dewsbury Hall off for Everton. 4 minutes of the 6 added to go. We'll go to a back 5 here, Everton. Kovacic a little loose there, and Alcaraz with his first involvement helps Everton win the throw-in. Look at the face of Pep Guardiola. I mean, he's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's stunned. Stunned is the word you can really say. I mean, first half where City had everything their way, but the momentum, you see a pendulum, it swings so far one way. City literally had it in their favour. They were running away with it in terms of the way they played in that first half, but they didn't take more than one goal. Quality goal by Doku, took nothing away from it, but when the momentum swung in Everton's favour, they did not let up, and they made sure they were clinical. And David Moyes' side tonight have been absolutely excellent. In this second half, they have been untouchable. They've been absolutely incredible. And this is the Everton team. I said it earlier in the night. Everton have really faltered in recent weeks. They haven't been able to show that command that they had against Chelsea. I mean, this is a completely different level. Chelsea and City, no comparison. Beating Chelsea and beating City, completely different kind of scenarios, massively. But that that fight, that freedom they had in that game, the way they played was so good against Chelsea. And that's what really impressed me. I thought this team could really do well. This team could really push for Europe. And a statement victory against Man City, who are going for the title. It's not done yet, but that would certainly massively garner the support and belief that this club can find their way back into Europe in the final few weeks of the season. Here's Jeremy Doku. 2 minutes of the 6 added to go. Doku's cross blocked, deflected away, and he couldn't stretch for it, but Kushanov, was battling there, and he just couldn't keep it in play. City with a throw in, they take it quickly. No waiting around now. Kovacic, O'Reilly trying to hold it up, but he was caught and nicked away from him, and now Everton on the break. It's Alcaraz finding it now to Njai. He's held onto the ball well here, Njai, but then he runs into Mateus Nunes. Time ticking away from City. If they can snatch a point, maybe that can be some sort of positive. A defeat makes it all near impossible to catch Arsenal without major help. Remember, if City were to lose this, they would need Arsenal to lose one of their final 3 games and City to win all 4 of their final games to go back level on points. That is how it would need to unfold for City to have a chance in the title race. Ball swung to the back post. Doku was the target, headed away from danger by Patterson. Doku that wins it back, finds Gerhi, back to Doku. Last minute of the game, and Doku wins a corner. Surely this is their last chance, Saloon City. 8th corner of the game. Timmy Rabunum's going to be checked up on here, but he's off at the advertising hoardings there. And he's going to be checked up on. But I have to say, if Everton hang on and get this result, I mean, what a result for David Moyes and his team. I mean, he's only beaten Pep Guardiola once, David Moyes. Everton have only won once since Pep Guardiola's been City manager against Man City. I'll talk about do-or-die moments. Gianluigi Donnarumma's up for this one. I mean, mental. Corner, swung in. Cleared away. Oh, Donnarumma got his head to it. Bouncing around, and it's hooked up the field by Everton. It's a straight chase. It's an open goal. Got to get it away here, Nunes. Oh, it's still an empty net. Oh, Cherky's going to retrieve it. 6 minutes is up. It's going to be one last hope for City. Cherky rides the challenge. Driving forward. Down the right-hand side comes Foden. He clips it across. Blocked behind for the corner. Is there going to see a substitution? I think. They were going to angle for a substitution there. And Donnarumma's going to come up again. Well, I mean, they've nothing to lose now. They have to go up. Got to try and find a goal here. Corner, delivered in, left-footed. Over the head of the back of the players there. Gerhi, Doku, striding onto it. Doku! He's done it again! Oh, wow, Jeremy Doku! That is absolutely sensational! If there's one player in this City team that could have done that, it's him. He started the scoring. It looks like he's ended the scoring tonight. Another spinning, curling effort into the far corner. And he's come up with a magical moment for Manchester City. Right in the dying embers. I said in the first half, no one in City colours could do it. And he said, let me show you how it's done. Well, he's just given them another lesson on how it's done. That is another incredible finish by Jeremy Doku. Talk about individual quality. That is absolutely sensational. Everton heartbroken, but Manchester City, if you want to win the league, you need moments like that. They need help as well, but they're not done yet. They want to try and win it here. Surely not. No, there's no time. Final whistle goes. That would have been one hell of an ending. It is finished. An absolute barnstormer of a game here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. The two sides battle blows in the second half. It was 1-0 to City at half-time when Jeremy Doku curled into the top corner to finish. But then it all swung in Everton's favour. Tieno Barry found a leveller. Then it was quickly 2-1 in a matter of minutes when O'Brien headed in. Then it was 3-1 when Barry tucked home once more, before Haaland in quick succession made it 3-2. And Jeremy Doku, in the dying embers, added the late equaliser in the 98th minute to steal another one. Everton again, an added time goal to deny them a result. But this, ultimately, a point gained for City from the position they were in. But at the start of the night, this would have been seen as 2 points dropped. And surely it would remain that way. If they're going to win this title, Manchester City, they're going to need a little bit of help. Because Arsenal, if they win now, Arsenal to the end of the season, the title is theirs. That is the gauntlet that Arsenal have in front of them. For City, as I said, they can win out and still not reach the title now. That is the gap that remains. It's a 5-point lead for the Gunners. City still have a game in hand, but even if they win that game in hand, it would still remain a 2-point gap. Those 2 points dropped here tonight at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. They hadn't lost in 17 games. That's extended that unbeaten run, but it's certainly 8 straight away league wins against Everton. You would have bet your house on City winning this one tonight, but not with David Moyes' Everton side. They were absolutely incredible in that second half, and probably deserved the 3 points. What a game, what a spectacle, what a way to end the weekend. An absolute cracker, 6-goal thriller at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And Everton were fantastic. City had their work cut out for them tonight, and they literally scraped through via a late equaliser. Final score here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. It is finished Everton 3, Manchester City 3. Well. What a game. What a weekend, but what a game we have witnessed at the Hill Dickinson. Everton 3, Manchester City 3. An absolute cracker in the title race. But that is maybe the moment that Arsenal needed. They won comfortably this weekend, and City had to fight to the death to garner a point. And the title race has been blown wide open. And who thought Everton would have the title say? Well, there it is. Confirmation. Arsenal on 76, Manchester City on 71. City have a game in hand, remember, but albeit that game in hand would still not be enough to see them level on points with Arsenal. Remember, there are still twists and turns to come, but City are going to need, they're certainly going to need Arsenal to drop points at least once between now and the end of the season, and them to win their remaining 4 games to get back on a level pegging with the Gunners. What a sensational night. Speaking of the Gunners, they're back in action tomorrow night in the Champions League. It's been a fantastic night for them to watch their rivals dropping points in the title race, but it is all about the Champions League. Can Arsenal find a way to the Champions League final for the first time since 2005? Or can Atletico upset the apple cart at the Emirates tomorrow? Arsenal 1, Atleti 1 going into that second leg. That's tomorrow, 8 o'clock on LFS. But wow. How important could that Jeremy Doku equaliser be? Will it be enough to keep City in the title race, or will Arsenal, who've hit a really good run of form in the last few games, continue pushing on to the title? They lead by 5. City have a game in hands, but even if they win that, Arsenal would still be clear at the top. That is the difference we have seen tonight. Arsenal win by 3-0. There were 3 goals for each side in this one, and it has finished 3-3. What a cracker to end the weekend. Thanks for your company. It's been great to have you with us tonight. Hope you can join us for the Champions League in midweek, and we're back with Premier League next weekend. But thanks so much for your company, and we'll see you again soon. Night night.